गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजनवल्लभ जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन यमुनतीर वनचारी यमुनतीर वनचारी यमुनतीर वनचारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव जय जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 जय कृष्ण बलराम 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 जय राधे श्याम Radhe-shyam, Radhe-shyam, Jayo Radhe-shyam, 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 Radhe-shyam. Jai Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यथारूप की, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की, समवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या, किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः, या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिःसृता। Studying from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Yatharoop, as it is, chapter 18, entitled The Perfection of Renunciation, text 61. īśvaraḥ sarva-bhūtānāṁ hṛd-deśe rjuna tiṣṭhati bhrāmayan sarva-bhūtāni yantrārūḍhāni māyayā īśvaraḥ sarva-bhūtānāṁ hṛd-deśe rjuna tiṣṭhati bhrāmayan sarva-bhūtāni yantrārūḍhāni māyayā īśvaraḥ sarva-bhūtānāṁ hṛd-deśe rjuna tiṣṭhati bhrāmayan sarva-bhūtāni yantrārūḍhāni māyayā īśvaraḥ sarva-bhūtānāṁ hṛd-deśe rjuna tiṣṭhati bhrāmayan sarva-bhūtāni yantrārūḍhāni māyayā īśvaraḥ sarva-bhūtānāṁ hṛd-deśe rjuna tiṣṭhati bhrāmayan sarva-bhūtāni yantrārūḍhāni māyayā īśvaraḥ sarva-bhūtānāṁ hṛd-deśe rjuna tiṣṭhati bhrāmayan sarva-bhūtāni yantrārūḍhāni māyayā. īśvaraḥ, the Supreme Lord, sarva-bhūtānāṁ, of all living entities, hṛt-deśe, in the location of the heart, Arjuna, O Arjuna, tiṣṭhati, resides, bhrāmayan, causing to travel. Sarva-bhūtāni, all living entities. Yantra, on a machine. ārūḍhāni, being placed. Māyayā, under the spell of material energy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities, who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Purport. Arjuna was not the Supreme Knower, and his decision to fight or not to fight was confined to his limited discretion. Lord Kṛṣṇa instructed that the individual is not all in all. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, or He Himself, Kṛṣṇa, as the localized Supersoul, sits in the heart directing the living being. After changing bodies, the living entity forgets his past deeds, but the Supersoul, as the knower of the past, present, and future, remains the witness of all his activities. Therefore, all the activities of living entities are directed by this Supersoul. The living entity gets what he deserves and is carried by the material body, which is created in the material energy under the direction of the Supersoul. As soon as a living entity is placed in a particular type of body, he has to work under the spell of that bodily situation. A person seated in a high-speed motor car goes faster than one seated in a slower car, though the living entities, the drivers, may be the same. Similarly, by the order of the Supreme Soul, material nature fashions a particular type of body to a particular type of living entity so that he may work according to his past desires. The living entity is not independent. One should not think himself independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The individual is always under the Lord's control. Therefore, one's duty is to surrender, and that is the injunction of the next verse. Om ajñānatimirandhasya jñānaṁ janashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhūtale Swayam Rūpaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Kṛṣṇa Prishthaya Bhūtale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindho Dīna Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vāṅcchā kalpatarubhyascha Kripa sindhubhya evacha Patitānaṁ pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, would like to welcome all the devotees into this Srimad Bhagavad Gita discussion. And I seek the blessings of all the devotees who are present here, and also those who are or who will be listening, let's say afterwards, online. So I seek the blessings of all the devotees. Generally I say all the upasthita and anupasthita devotees. All the present and those who are not present. So this has been the pattern actually in scriptures. Like the acharyas, whenever they will use some verb, kriyapad, they will use plural. Like Vyasadeva, the very first verse of Bhagavatam, the verb is dhimahi, janmadyasya, and satyam param dhimahi. So the vakta is just one, singular, but the verb is plural. So the acharyas explain that they also include their disciples, the other devotees, because everyone is basically meant to offer obeisances, to meditate upon the Lord, right? And they also include the next generations of devotees when they say dhimahi. So similarly, we seek the blessings of devotees so that by their mercy, by all of your mercy, we can churn something out of 1861 here and can do some samudra manthan, churning of the ocean of Bhagavad Gita from this particular verse. Quite a verse actually. 18th chapter in itself is like the essence, the cream, the crux of the whole Bhagavad Gita. And we are actually leading up to the final verse, the crux, which is sarva-dharman parityajya. And before that, manmana bhava mad bhakto as well. So just few verses ahead. So quite a potent verse it is. And yeah, a lot of thoughts and insights are there. And let's see how far we can go. Bhagavad Gita deals with the 5 subjects all of us know. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kal and Karma. Like if we look at this particular verse, the very first word is īśvaraḥ, right? The next word is sarva-bhūtānāṁ, which actually refers to the jivas, right? Ishvara, Jiva. And then the last word is māyayā, refers to Prakriti. So Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti are mentioned in this particular verse. And bhrāmayan kind of refers to karma, the karma part. Because the nature, the modes of the material nature, they make us do an act. So refers the bhrāmayan, the word bhrāmayan refers to the karma. The point is, until now, we all have studied and discussed the 5 contents, the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita, which are Ishvara, again, Jiva, Prakriti, Kal and Karma. By now, a reader or a listener of Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be not only knowing all these subjects, but also having firm faith in all of these subjects. One can't be atheist and come here and study this verse. He won't be able to digest it. Because he doesn't believe in Ishvara. Someone who doesn't believe in reincarnation, like, dehantara, he won't be able to understand this particular verse. If someone is not accepting the philosophy of karma, the action, he won't be able to. So the point is, if we have reached this particular point of Bhagavad Gita, which is like the end, then we have to be very fixed and confirmed about all these topics, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kal and Karma. Then this verse will make much more sense to us. The word here is yantra, which is actually referring to machine. Like this microphone is a yantra, like this sound system is a yantra, this camera, the laptop, these cables, this TV, AC, everything is a yantra actually. We see the lights, wall, clock, what else? Everything practically is a yantra. A machine. So basically a machine, we won't define machine here, it's not a physics class. Machine is something which can perform a particular action, a desired action. Now, interestingly, all of us are also yantras here, and individual ones. This body is a yantra, your body, everyone's body is a yantra, as per Bhagavad Gita. Like to understand and to think it in that aspect is quite awkward. We don't really think in that direction, that this body is a yantra, because we identify the body as ourselves only, which is the dehatma buddhi. The dehatma buddhi, dehe atma buddhi iti dehatma buddhi. We do the perception of ourself, or basically we impose our own perception, or like our identity in body. Just like a person, out of ignorance, he can take a rope to be a snake, which is sarpa-rajju-nyaya or rajju-sarpa-nyaya, right? So a person understanding the rajju, a rope, to be snake in darkness. Because if it's, the room is lit up, if it's not dark, then no one will take a rope to be a snake, right? Similarly, in ignorance, an interesting point is coming ahead. In ignorance, we, the souls, have taken this body as our own selves. Now, when the room is lit up, when we switch on the lights, then the rope, which one was, misunderstanding as the snake, so one gets the knowledge, okay, this is not the snake, this is simple rope. Now, in the similar pattern, we, the souls, are also supposed to be, realized that when we get vidya, when we get knowledge from shastras, from guru, sadhu, shastra, we come to know actually that body is different and atma is different, the soul is different. But still, we keep on recognizing ourselves as the body. It's just like, even after turning on the light, one still takes the rope as snake. How fool. Right? But the process is such that because it's been so long that we are in the body, and the sanskaras, the impressions are so so deep, we can say, that in just one go, it can't happen. So knowledge is not sufficient, jnana is not sufficient. We have to realize that knowledge. We have to digest and we have to realize. Just like we eat food, the food enters our belly. Of course, we have to chew it. We have to cook it, we have to chew it. A long process actually. We have to gather the ingredients, we cook it, the raw food items, we chew it, it goes inside, and then further the belly, the digestion process happens. Such a long process actually. We do it every day, so looks like it's easy. But if we, think of it, just, to grow a crop on the field, and then all the trades, we get it, we cook it, we chew it, and then the belly and the digestion process happens inside. So the point is, we do it and then we digest it, and then the power comes in the body, the supply. Similarly, we are hearing, so this is like, it's like just putting the morsel of the food in mouth. It's not even chewing actually. Chewing is basically mananam. Mananam means meditating, chintanam. What we are doing now is like taking the food and keeping it in the mouth. Afterwards, when we do mananam, chintanam, when we meditate upon the subject spoken, then it would be like chewing. And then the rasa, the crux of those statements from the katha, from the lectures, from the scriptures, they will start spreading and they will start nourishing us. So this is just similar to putting a morsel of food in mouth. It's not even chewing yet. A long process. Just an analogy. So, yeah, so this is the point. So yantra. So all of us are machines when we say bodies, but because of the hatma buddhi, we identify ourselves as body. And yes, but death takes place. Death takes place, and we forget our past life's actions, and we enter into the new ones and start performing the new actions. Interestingly, when we speak of death, there is nothing like death. It's just forgetfulness. Because spirit soul is eternal, it can't die. And the body, which is made up of the material ingredients, they are already dead. So how can a dead thing again die? You know, a dead thing can't die again, and an eternal thing can't be killed. Nayam hanti na hanyate. So what is death? Who dies? So Shastras explain it's basically forgetfulness of one's previous life. That is explained in the Shastras. So here Sri Kṛṣṇa says that, O Arjuna, even Prabhupada explains in Purport, that we the living entities, we have forgotten our previous lives, the actions we performed in the previous lives and so on. But the Supersoul, he remembers. Otherwise, what is the reason someone is born in a rich family, in a poor family, and so on and so? We all know all those matrices, the mathematics. So, Supersoul knows. And I'll tell you a matrix of, the karma. If we perform, let's say, some bad action in our previous life, some pap karya, we will incur sin. Bad actions will lead to sin. And if we perform some piety, that would lead to piety, piousness. Now let's say, now in this particular life, I am facing, now sin will lead to distress and piety will lead to sukha, happiness. Right? If we have incurred sin, papa, that will lead to dukkha in the next life, let's say, or in the same life later on. And the piety will lead to sukha. So now, when dukkha comes to us, when distress is there in front of us, it means it's the result of our previously done sins. So if we go through that suffering, that distress, then what will happen? Our balance of sin will reduce. Right? Because we are going through that suffering, the result, so the balance of sin will reduce. But when sukha comes, when happiness comes, we should not be enjoying it. Because if we enjoy sukha also, then the balance of punya will also decrease. But as per Bhagavad Gita and as per the Shastras, it is recommended when dukkha comes, accept it. But when sukha comes, do not accept it, do tapasya. Become austere, right? The fact is, and the reason is this behind that. So that we have accumulation of piety, which will lead to nishtha bhakti, naishtika bhakti. In Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, the last verse, what is the verse? Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. Those whose sins are all eradicated and those who are having lot of punyas, they will lead to my determined naishtika bhakti. So such is the matrix of karmas. The sukha, dukkha, the papa, punya and all. So similarly, who remembers all this? Kṛṣṇa says, the science of karma is very intricate. Gahana karmano gatihi. It is very gahan, basically very intricate, very complex. I was like hearing from some devotee and he was mentioning like the biology of the body, the nervous system, the nerves and all circulating throughout the body. It's so complex, he was like just mentioning, it's so complex that we should be actually thankful to Kṛṣṇa, to God every day, practically, that such a complex system and working so smoothly, right? So smoothly, it's such complex thing, so many nerves and so many the organs and all. Similarly, the karma and the matrix of karma, they're so complex. And we are not that qualified or eligible. We don't have that potency now that we can, relate to it, or we can memorize it, or we just forget. We tend to forget. So who remembers? Supersoul remembers. And Supersoul then, he mercifully, acharyas explain, he mercifully provides us this particular sadhana, the yantra, the body. Because if we do not get the body, and we have the material desires, then we'll be wandering throughout the planets, throughout the universe, in subtle form, in subtle bodies, without any gross body. And that's very terrible. That's a very terrible situation. So this is really Kṛṣṇa's mercy, that every time he gives us, he provides us with this gross body to facilitate our material desires. Okay, go. Just try enjoying yourself. So if he wanted to really, take a revenge, so to say, he might not give us this facility. So this is a facility actually. This body, this machine, yantra is a facility provided by the Lord via his material energy, the Maya. Suyate sacharacharam. So that's why we should be very careful in operating with this yantra, this facility. It can also ruin us in a way, and it can also uplift us. So from the bhūloka, and from this, so first the bhūloka, the earthly planet, and then also the manushya sharira, the human body, we can go upwards and we can go downwards. So this is like a platform where we can choose our destination. Like nowadays, one topic is on very trend, whether we want to go to Maldives or Lakshadweep. So where are we heading? So that's the point. Srila Prabhupada explains in the Purport that the Lord, as Supersoul, he motivates every living entity, from within. He reminds us of all the actions we performed and all the reactions we have to get. Now, Kṛṣṇa, as Supersoul, indirectly, he motivates all of us, as mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. But we also, especially those who are Brahmanically initiated, the second initiated. So in the very first Gayatri Mantra, the last words are Dhiya prachodayat. Naha dhiyaha prachodayat. Which means that, O Lord, please, prachodayat is like, please bestow me, with like good intelligence and motivate me. Yeah, the word is motivate. Please motivate me to do right actions. Please motivate me to do right actions in a right spirit and so on. So, what is the point? What is the difference? That Lord Kṛṣṇa is already, as Supersoul, he is directing everyone. So, he is also directing us. So, why are we separately praying to him to direct us or to motivate us? So, the difference is, there, normally, Kṛṣṇa doesn't intervene himself. He just basically sanctions and he just allows, okay, this is your wish, do it. This is your wish, do it. Just a sanction. And then for us, for the devotees, the practitioners, the sadhakas, or those who are perfected, Kṛṣṇa himself intervenes. And then he gives particular directions to the devotees to do what or to not to do. Like this. And Lord Kṛṣṇa has a very beautiful nature that even though he knows everything, right? He's sarvagnya. He's the knower of everything. But still he will remain quiet. He will keep observing. He's a good observer. And if someone is stuck in any problem, he knows everything, but he's still quiet. Unless the devotee, even if a devotee, he will keep quiet. Unless the devotee comes and asks Kṛṣṇa to intervene, then only Kṛṣṇa comes in between and takes the charge. For example, in the 10th canto, the very first chapter, Mother Earth was very, petrified. She was in distress. She was crying in the form of a cow. She went to Brahmaji, and then she told her distress to Brahma that how the cruel kings, along with their armies, they were troubling Mother Earth in various ways. So Lord Brahma, along with all the demigods, Lord Shiva, of course Mother Earth as well, they all went to Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Brahma, in his samadhi, in his prayers, they prayed to the Lord and said that these are our problems, please solve this. And then Lord Kṛṣṇa, Lord Vishnu, he said, okay, I have heard your prayers, tathastu. I'll appear soon and I'll eradicate all the sinful people and sinful kings. Now the point is, before Brahmaji, the demigods, Mother Earth approached the Lord, didn't he know before? Huh? He was knowing. So why didn't he do anything? Was he busy? Didn't he have time for Mother Earth? Was he looking for some other planets? No. He's an observer. He wants to do good to everyone, especially his devotees. But until and unless someone intentionally asks him to intervene, he remains quiet. That patient is Kṛṣṇa. He's such patient actually. It's not his ignorance or his arrogance. Someone can say, oh, he's so arrogant actually. Someone can say that, an outsider. But that's his patience, and that's the limit or the extent he allows us to, practice or live our free will. Even after knowing, even for the devotees. So that's why praying is very important, that we go in front of Kṛṣṇa Balaram. That's why Srila Prabhupada also said when the temple opened, that okay, if you have any problem now on, go in front of Kṛṣṇa Balaram and say, Sir, Sir, I have this problem. Sir, I have this problem. Please solve this. Prabhupada said this exactly. So that is Kṛṣṇa's way of behaving or doing or intervening in. But yeah, if someone is really attached to Kṛṣṇa, very asakta, then he doesn't wait for their prayers. That's like very highly elevated devotee attracted to Kṛṣṇa, attached to Kṛṣṇa in a particular rasa, mellow. Then he doesn't when Bhishma Dev was to attack the Pandavas, very fierce he was. And he wanted to attack Arjuna as well. Then Arjuna didn't pray that, oh Lord, please save me. No. Kṛṣṇa came down, took the wheel and wanted to kill Bhishma Dev. So then that situation is for very highly elevated devotees, for whom, those who are akinchana, for them there is nothing else apart from Shri Kṛṣṇa. But for us, it's like actually different versions or variations of Draupadi, we can say. Like Mother Draupadi, she actually exemplifies various kinds of devotees. Especially two kinds. So one who is initially dependent on oneself, one dependent on others, and ultimately one who is dependent only on Kṛṣṇa. So now, we are not fully dependent on Kṛṣṇa, We are dependent on some material means, we are dependent on something, but not Kṛṣṇa. Something, but not Kṛṣṇa. So that something, when we give up and only Kṛṣṇa, then that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kṛṣṇa, 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 Raksha Mam, Rama Raghav, Rama Raghav, Pahi Mam. And in the Shiksha-ashtakam he says, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood actually. That we can't actually resort to all those material things. We have to resort to Shri Kṛṣṇa and his lotus feet only. We have no other option. Prabhupada talks of actually independence in the purport and how we are dependent on the Lord ultimately. For example, let's say His Holiness Badri Narayan Maharaj was giving an example. So if someone presents us, with a beautiful thali, a plate of, prasadam, and let's say we have 10 sabjis in it, and chapati, rice, and so on. Now, what we will think, we'll take the first bite of chapati, and we'll think, oh, I have a great choice. Now, whether to start with paneer, or to start with, let's say, some other sabji, mixed veg, or something. So, he will feel that liberty, of choosing from those 10 different sabjis. So he may think that he have those choices in front of him. But from a broader point of view, he's actually limited or restricted to those 10 sabjis only. He can't think of any 11th sabji. So this is what is happening with us. We are just thinking of what is available, with us. We can't actually think of something which is not available to us, which we can actually approach. So we are in a restricted zone or area, but we think that we are independent. We are independent. We are not independent. In Pune, I was there in Pune 3-4 years back. I was going for a morning walk with my Gurudev. And some boys, they were playing some football, some volleyball and all. Some games. And suddenly it was they think they are enjoying. Children, when they play, they think they are enjoying, right? They properly think they are enjoying. And he was they are enjoying, that's their illusion. They are bound to play actually. In their age, they are bound to play. Balavastha, Krida Sakta. How beautiful. We are so ignorant of what actions we are performing or what actions we are bound to perform. Kids are bound to play. Can they think in this way? No. The Shastras say they are bound to play. Why kids like to play? Because they are bound to play. That's why they like to play. Similarly with all the different kinds of people, different ages, different groups, we are bound to do particular types of actions. And we think we are enjoying and we are independent of doing a particular action which we are doing. But that's not the fact. That's why it said, māyayā, bhrāmayan. That Lord, through his maya, through the modes, he's making us wander in this material world. Yeah, just few points and then we'll conclude. īśvaraḥ sarva-bhūtānāṁ hṛd-deśe. That the Lord is situated in our heart. That's true. But the Lord is not situated in our consciousness. It was just a thought that anyhow, even for a materialist or for a devotee, the Lord in the form of Paramatma, Supersoul, He's present everywhere, right? Everywhere He's present. Even the animals, all the species of life, He's present there. But He's not present in the consciousness. That's the thing. And that's why the effort is to bring Kṛṣṇa in our consciousness. Physically, that's another thing. He's already present physically. The Shastra says Angushtha Matra. Shvetashvata Upanishad explains that He the size of the Paramatma is that of a thumb. Now don't ask me, please, that in the form of an ant, how does that Supersoul fit in, who is the size of a thumb? So, but he's physically there, as per the Shastras, in the body, in the heart. But not in the consciousness. The effort is to bring Kṛṣṇa in the consciousness. That's why International Society for Kṛṣṇa Consciousness. And that's why Mahaprabhu used to say, Kṛṣṇe matirastu. That let be your mind in Kṛṣṇa. So when Kṛṣṇe matirastu will happen, when our mati will be in Kṛṣṇa, then what will happen? Matau Kṛṣṇa. So when our mind will rest or will resort to Kṛṣṇa, then Kṛṣṇa will enter in our minds. Both ways. So first our minds have to be in Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇe matihi, and then Kṛṣṇa will enter in our minds. Matau Kṛṣṇa. That's how beautiful it is. So even though Supersoul is there, but for the devotees, Kṛṣṇa makes special interventions and he enters separately. For like Uttara. I was just thinking, when Brahmastra was killing the womb of Uttara, Maharaj Parikshit in the womb. So Lord Kṛṣṇa as Supersoul, he could have saved, from within. But no, he separately entered the womb. Because Uttara was a devotee, and when a devotee is asking for a favor, he needs some help. So Kṛṣṇa personally and directly, he helps. You're getting the point, right? As Supersoul form, he could have saved Uttara's womb. But he separately entered and protected Uttara's womb. So this is how, just an example, that how Lord Kṛṣṇa, he personally intervenes for the devotees. And in this way, Lord Kṛṣṇa is kind of telling Arjuna. So in the previous verses, Kṛṣṇa told Arjuna that even if you do not want to fight, your nature will make you fight. This was the previous two verses. So Arjuna might think, okay, Prakriti is Pradhan. Material nature is superior. So Kṛṣṇa says, no, wait. Material nature is not inferior or not superior. It's inferior to the Lord. That's why it says māyayā and bhrāmayan ityādi. So that's my Maya, and I'm giving order to Maya to control you in this particular world. So we all are bound. Even after we start practicing devotion, we see ourselves, right? We notify ourselves doing some action sometimes which we do not really want to do, but we are bound to do. It happens a lot of times in the daytime, whenever. So those occurrences are actually still, the impressions are there, the sanskaras are there, the modes are still active within us as well, the practitioners, the sadhakas. So we need to be very careful, and we should really resort to Kṛṣṇa, that oh Kṛṣṇa Balaram, oh Radhashyam, Sundar, please help us overcome the material modes of nature, because we do not want to be māyayā bhrāmayan. We do not want to wander because due to Maya. We want to wander as per your wish. As per your wish. I don't want intervention of Maya. Okay, Maya's intervention I want, but the antaranga Shakti, not the bahiranga Shakti. I want Radharani's. That's why, in the morning program, to Tulsi Maharani we pray, to Radharani, to the Sakhis we pray, that please let us engage us in the services of Radha Kṛṣṇa, of the Lord. Why? If we do not pray to the Antaranga Shakti, the internal potency, or Vrinda Devi, then obviously Bahiranga Shakti will engage us. So that's our effort from shifting or switching from Bahiranga Shakti to Antaranga Shakti. So more efforts, and then gradually Kṛṣṇa Swayam Avirbhavishyati. Kṛṣṇa will appear in the heart and he will bestow us. So some few points I had to mention, and we'll end here. So if there is something to discuss, something to correct, Yeah, it's open. Hari Hari. Hare Krishna. Yeah, any comments? Anything? Okay, let's chant the verse once more. īśvaraḥ sarva-bhūtānāṁ hṛd-deśe rjuna tiṣṭhati bhrāmayan sarva-bhūtāni yantrārūḍhāni māyayā. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. So let us engage our yantras more and more in Krishna service, and let's pray to the Lord that we get that burning desire to engage our yantras in the service of the Lord. Yeah, it's not to do with the gross things, right? Māṃ iccāptum dhananjaya. 12th chapter, 7th or the 8th verse. I really like that verse. Very inspiring. That when we keep on performing sadhana, daily like our chanting, darshans, reading and all, we do not attain Kṛṣṇa. We attain the desire to attain Kṛṣṇa. That comes first. Māṃ iccāptum. We attain the desire to attain Kṛṣṇa. If someone doesn't have the desire itself, can he attain Kṛṣṇa? So that is the main thing. Kṛṣṇa will come by default thereafter. So that desire, māṃ iccāptum dhananjaya. So we are here trying to, pray to the Lord. Tanno dhiyo prachodayat. Please, let that desire come into our heart. Let that ocean, that tsunami of that desire come into our heart. Of, that desire to attain you. And the more the desire is there to attain Kṛṣṇa, the more solid, the more determined we will be. And the more lethargic we will become if we do not have that solid desire. So, māṃ iccāptum dhananjaya. So, we pray to Kṛṣṇa that He is within us as Paramatma. He is knowing everything of us. Nothing is hidden from us. Yeah, please.
Actually, you said, when you only pray, Kṛṣṇa then only intervenes. Without praying, Kṛṣṇa don't intervene. But our parents, such as if we are in some distressing situation, our parents don't wait us to be pray or ask help from our parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then why Kṛṣṇa without praying do not help us? As we are
Okay.
suffering in this mental ocean.
If we are, let's say, if you are in trouble, some distress, some dukkha, and
Our friends or
yeah, okay, sure. Let's say you are in a trouble, some distress, some mental agony, something. And now you are expecting Kṛṣṇa to intervene and fix the things in your life, right? Without you praying to Him. Right? Now, if you are already aware of Kṛṣṇa and you are expecting Kṛṣṇa's mercy and Kṛṣṇa's intervention, then you will naturally pray that, oh Lord, this is the situation, please help me, right? Only the person who is not aware of Kṛṣṇa and Kṛṣṇa's mercy, Kṛṣṇa's potency, he won't pray. So if someone is already a devotee, he will pray naturally by default. Yeah, but one more element is there. Now, if a devotee, he is very determined that I won't ask anything material. That's also one category. If I won't ask anything material, for them, Kṛṣṇa intervenes. Because Kṛṣṇa knows that he won't ask for it at any point of time. I will have to come in and intervene. Then Kṛṣṇa intervenes. When devotee purposefully doesn't ask anything material, then Kṛṣṇa comes. Kṛṣṇa comes.
what about the forgetful people?
For forgetful people, they are...
They are also the pardon person.
But it's not that Kṛṣṇa is giving, right? It's their own karmas, as per the Shastras. So, the papa punya, papa leads to dukkha. Okay, see, now you're saying that when dukkha comes, distress comes, so for those people also Kṛṣṇa should help. Kṛṣṇa is helping in many ways, but still. But when sukha comes, they do not remember Kṛṣṇa. So what then? So when dukkha comes, they're just facing their own distress, their own reactions to previously done, misdeeds. So when they pray to Kṛṣṇa, when they do satsanga and associate, then they start coming out of their cycle of karmas. Now they are in their cycle of karmas. So Kṛṣṇa doesn't intervene there. He clearly says, I'm only the sakshi. I just observe. And I do not really intervene there because he wants to do it his own way. Right? So even if a slight ichcha, desire is there in the heart of a living entity, and slight surrender also, even a slight surrender, then Kṛṣṇa starts intervening. But if no surrender, then ye yathamam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. Kṛṣṇa also do bhajana. Kṛṣṇa says, I also do bhajan of all living entities, but as per their reciprocation.
Actually, one of my brother always keeps asking me that Kṛṣṇa is all powerful and all merciful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why do not he bestow his...
So does he perform sadhana?
No, he doesn't.
So he knows that Kṛṣṇa is everything.
And I'm in illusion, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm in deep illusion, so I can get out of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Kṛṣṇa is all powerful and he's the only, he's the person who wants our goods, right? So if he so does, then why do not he just make us all free from this material distress or so on?
Ask him to do some sadhana, then he will get the answer maybe. If he can perform nice, if he doesn't, then we are not able to leave.
He only says that Kṛṣṇa is all powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't mercy us costlessly. So we only pray and then only Kṛṣṇa intervenes. So without praying, but when we don't pray, it means we are in illusion. We are in his bhārayan shakti, right? So why Kṛṣṇa is making us involved, right? We are involved in this bhārayan shakti's activities, right? So why he doesn't just take up this bhārayan shakti and take care of everything? So he's saying this. I don't have actually any answer to, okay.
Ask him to read Prabhupada's books. Even Bhagavad Gita, very nicely explained. That's a very simple topic, like very initial topic actually. Someone comes in ISKCON, this is actually a topic, very initial topic which is discussed. So, can't be explained. See, if you talk to him, he may, argue with you. Give him a book. He can't argue with a book. Right? He can debate or argue with you, but he can't argue or debate with the book. Give him a book, maybe a small one, where like many small books by Srila Prabhupada, and ask him to read.
Fasting means without praying or without desiring, we can't attain Kṛṣṇa.
We can't attain.
So we have to desire for him.
Yeah, we have to do sadhana. We have to do sadhana, right? Sadhana is there. Kripa Siddha is very rare. Sadhana Siddha we have to be.
Without sadhana, Kṛṣṇa won't come and bless us.
He has already come. You are sitting here. You are in Vrindavan, listening to Gita, and he is your brother. So your Sukriti also in some way is getting. A member in the family performing devotional service, all of his family members, directly or indirectly, they benefit from that. So you're listening to Gita, some ansha is going to him as well. To your family as well, to your forefathers also. So how merciful is the process?
There are also so many people who are out of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Right? So what about them?
Yeah, so you pray to the Lord. Sarve bhavantu, sukhinaha, sarve santu, niramaya. So the prayer is there that may all become happy.
So without desiring, nothing is going to happen.
Desire is there, right? Just one thing we possess, the living entities, and that is our desire. We possess nothing else. You look at the body, the gross body, the subtle body, nothing is ours actually. The only thing we possess, Prabhupada explains, is our will, which is our desire. So without desire, nothing can happen. So sarve santu, niramaya, ityadi. Yeah, so he's getting benefited. Give him Prabhupada's books. He will read, he will understand something. Okay, I won't take much of your time. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Yatharūpa ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur.